I have herpes. それを聞くと何とも思わないでしょ。でもね、これ初めてこの発言聞いた時にすごくびっくりしました。最初はね、どう反応すればいいかわからなくて焦りました。そしたらね、じゃあ確認しなきゃと思って。Could you say that again?
I have herpes.
発音がちょっと違いますけど似てます。もしかしたらあれかな。そしてね、辞書で調べてHerpes のことですね。Herpes? この方随分オープンな方ですねと思って何でも個人的なことを話してしまいますね。今回はそのストーリーをベースにしていろいろと、話してきますね。I'm going to look at how a word like herpes can have such a different feeling depending on whether you say it in English or Japanese. I'm going to look at the problem, the reason, the solution, and some example sentences. I'm about to open a whole can of worms. First, let's look at the problem. I have herpes. I have herpes. There are some words that you can say completely innocently in Japanese, but when you say them in English, they carry a lot more weight and like a deeper meaning. This just goes to show the importance of knowing the ins and outs of how particular words and phrases are used. As I said, you as a Japanese speaker probably wouldn't even bat an eyelid if someone said, I have herpes. Come on, it's a medical condition. Doctors and nurses say it all the time. Morning. Good morning. How are things? I'm not doing too bad, I suppose. Just feeling a bit run down. You're working too hard. You should dial things back a bit. I'm trying to, but you know how it is. I hear you, but it'll take its toll on you. Yeah, I'm starting to feel that. What's that on your lip? Looks pretty nasty. This? I've got herpes. You've got herpes? But yeah, and it gets worse when I'm exhausted. But herpes? You're a married man. Oh, my wife knows all about it. She got me some great medicine. Isn't she like upset about you having herpes? Oh, she's got it too. What a pair, right? I'm not sure I should be hearing this. It's a bit personal. Actually, it kind of runs in the family. Herpes runs in the family? Yes, my dad had it all his life. No way. So even although we're talking about exactly the same medical condition, the word herpes sounds so different when I hear it in English. Herpes. Herpes. I want you to realize that we're not talking about something simple here like a common cold. It's so much funkier than that. What's the difference between saying herpes in English and herpes in Japanese? It goes without saying that the pronunciation is quite different, but there is one really big thing that I haven't explained yet. When most English speakers hear the word herpes, they automatically assume that you're talking about a sexually transmitted disease or an STD. So we have HSV1, herpes simplex virus type 1. Doctors sometimes say oral herpes. This usually causes cold sores around the mouth or lips. It's very common and many people will get it as children through kissing or sharing utensils. HSV2, herpes simplex virus type 2. This usually causes genital herpes. It can spread through sexual contact and can cause painful blisters or sores in private areas. I might be wrong in saying this, but I think the average native speaker doesn't know there are two types. The innocent one and the not so innocent one, if you know what I mean. In general, I always feel that people in Japan have so much knowledge about health issues and an incredible vocabulary. Actually, it's kind of embarrassing when I don't know medical words even in English, and my students know them. They look at me like I'm some kind of idiot sometimes. So even though it's a fact, it's a medical fact that there are two types, I would automatically think that if someone had herpes, then they have been running around having sexual relationships with lots of different people. It's not a good look. So even now, when I have a sweet little middle-aged lady tell me quite openly,
I have herpes.
I automatically feel kind of embarrassed, even although I know what she means. So the word herpes has a huge stigma attached to it, and it suggests that you have a wild and reckless lifestyle, and it's just downright shocking. Stigma means a strong feeling of shame or disapproval that society has attached to something. It often makes people embarrassed or afraid to even talk about it. Things like these: mental health, disabilities, homelessness, abortion, teen pregnancy, or STDs. As I'm sure you'll agree, there is a certain amount of stigma attached to all of these difficult issues in society. So let's say you do actually have HSV1, herpes simplex virus type 1. When you're speaking in Japanese, of course, it's completely fine. There's no stigma attached to the word. It's part of the culture. But when you're speaking in English, there is a special word that is much more acceptable in society. I actually mentioned it a few minutes ago. I have a cold sore. When you have a small, painful blister that usually appears on or around the lips. By saying you have a cold sore, it sounds so much more acceptable. And I don't relate it to someone who's running around having sexual relations with random people. But if someone says they have herpes, then it paints a completely different picture. And I imagine all sorts of things. So my advice to you is to be very careful when using the word herpes when you're speaking English. I strongly advise you to use the word cold sore. Even although the word herpes is medically the right choice, in terms of nuance and feeling, you've got to be careful so as not to give the wrong impression, which could turn out to be disastrous. Do you have anything for cold sores? I feel one coming on. So this is a very common way to ask about medicine or things at the drugstore. When you say you have one coming on, it means you don't have one yet, but you can feel it starting. You'll probably have one in a couple of days. This is also used a lot for headaches or colds. I feel a cold coming on.
Did you hear John's got an STD?
It doesn't surprise me. He's not exactly the shyest guy in the world when it comes to the ladies now, is he? So, of course, most people wouldn't discuss this kind of thing quite so openly. I mean, that's par for the course. Everyone knows that. But, you know, if you are talking about it, sexually transmitted disease, STD. So I've actually heard this is also used in Japanese recently too. In the 1980s, HIV/AIDS was surrounded by stigma and fear due to misunderstandings about how it spread and its high mortality rate. If you're around in the 1980s, you probably remember this. People were really concerned about catching HIV/AIDS. A high mortality rate means that a large percentage of people who were infected with the virus passed away. Some STDs like syphilis can be transmitted even if there are no visible symptoms. Before watching this video, did you ever have any awkward reactions when using the word herpes in English? So if so, please tell me about it down in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what everybody thinks about how the word differs in nuance and feeling between how you say it in Japanese and in English.